Hi, welcome back, Dirtbags, to Dirtbag Baseball Talk. As you can see on the screen today or whatever, and that it's Robin and myself for today. So, we got some sad and happy news. Sad for the show that Anne Marie won't be able to be with us anymore or whatever, and that. But happy for her and her future and that with some new exciting opportunities that came her way and stuff like that. So we wish her nothing but the best of luck and thank her for so much. Valuable information and content. I think you'll agree with Robin, and obviously you've known her for way longer than I have. So we wish her the best of luck.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So, Dirtbags, thank you for joining us again. Thank you for being a part of this series and stuff like that. And it is a series, but it's becoming almost a weekly episode, as you're aware of now. And it needs to be. This is a conversation Rob and I have joked about. Well, not really joked about it. We joke about because it's second nature to us, I think, Robin. And we try to keep our own sanity. We try to stay away from the noise ourselves, because if not, we would get pretty angry, I guess, at the end of the day, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And we have to make it light at times, because sometimes it's not taken as seriously as it needs to be. And that's why we're here. We're here to bring light to the notion of beyond the noise. But then, we also want to, we also get to laugh at things too and keep things, easy and fun and flowing. So yeah, Kirk and I joke a lot just about things in general, right? We just want to keep life happy.
Well, as they say, laughter is the best medicine sometimes, right? So,
Yes.
sure. And that's a great segue, actually, in that, because as you know, Dirtbag Nation, we're gonna revise a little bit where we've been, a little bit of the story in that. But as you've been so actively commenting and inquiring in that, you're obviously very intrigued by this concept of L4 Living roadmap, mental agility program, that you want to know why Robin, why L4? And that's a valuable question. I think that's a fair question, Robin. So I'm going to
Absolutely
throw
it
it
is.
at you. I'm going to throw it at you. Why Robin Gargano, and why the L4 Living program?
Yes. Well, first of all, why not? Right? We all want to have the ability to grow beyond ourselves. So, just in a general universal picture, why wouldn't you want to discover something that you don't know about yourself? So, why not? Right? That's the overall umbrella. But I think it's important for us to take a step back to understand my why. Why did I come into this space to want to do this for athletes and want to serve in this way? And we touched on this in the very beginning. Sharing our story is a way for us to connect as human beings. It's a way for us to bond on a different level. And that takes vulnerability, that takes courage, it takes bravery to let people into our deepest, darkest. But my why stems from my story. I had a completely different life prior to this. I was planning events, I was in PR, I had a totally different company. I had a husband. We had suffered 7 miscarriages. That caused a separation, never knowing if we were going to get back together. That was crushing. And that was in and of itself just heart-wrenching. And who knows what would have happened. But in that process, he ends up dying in a plane crash. And my world caved in after all the grief and loss of miscarriage and what that felt like between me and him, what grief felt like, what was happening to my cognition. And this happens with him. And that is when the curtains of the show just kind of closed over my life. And it was dark and it was awful and it was terrible. And it was crying on the floor, not eating and losing drastic amounts of weight and all of the bad stuff that people don't want to talk about. That's where I lived, not remembering where I put things, not being able to find my keys because I left them in the refrigerator. Crazy stuff. That's what drove me to understand the brain, the neuroscience, emotions, what they do to us, shock, anxiety, despair. As I'm going on this path, right, it's a year to get to the point where I was like, I want to smile in the same way that I smiled before. I want that smile to mean something. And that's the trajectory. That's where mental health and well-being really sunk into my life. Going to energy healers, going to therapists, studying quantum physics, studying how the brain waves connect, resiliency, where does that fit in? So all this interest, because of my own despair, Then my brother, a year and a half after that, ends up dying from substance abuse. I end up getting his one child, another on the way. The one that was on the way was born to opioid addiction. We're in a hospital in a NICU for 17 days. And then a year to the day before she turns one, I adopt both babies, become a mom. My dream came true. And that is where the why came from. You don't always need to know the answer of why things happen to you. Eventually it will open up and it will become this playing field of, oh my gosh, okay, now I get it. Sometimes you don't always need to get it, but I got it, right? It was the beauty in the tragedy. It was the power that stemmed from all of that pain. And then that opened up the door to meet my now husband, and who works in baseball and works in the MLB, and gained two more daughters into my life. All this glory, right? And as I'm meeting my husband and we're bonding over sports and, we're really getting into that, we ended up working for a data tech company together, Kirk. That's how you and I met and formed our awesome relationship. And we just started to really discuss the inner workings of what else is missing from this game. And that's, I was like, my passion for transformation of oneself after coming from such a low place, that's where my why stemmed from. And so when we have players come to me and say, I feel this, I can't get out of my own way, I'm in such despair, like I'm feeling depressed, I can understand that. I can empathize on a very different level besides just learning it from a textbook, because I lived it. And just because we're living something very differently, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to pull from that internal reaction that I had in order to serve you the best way. And that's where my passion comes from. Knowing and understanding transformation, living in this way and seeing the sun brighter than it was before. I want that for every person. I want that for every athlete. I want an athlete, maybe you didn't even come from such despair, but you just want to evolve. I want you to feel what that's like, to see things differently, have a different perspective and awareness in life. And that's where my heartstrings are always pulled, is to help people get to a different place in their life, regardless of circumstance, and really, truly love everything that they're turning into. I love watching the transformation in human beings. And that's my why. I want to serve you because it comes from such a deep-rooted place in my heart of understanding what it feels like to be lost and disconnected and not recognize yourself.
Yeah, first off, Dirtbag Nation, I've known Robin 4 years, and I've never heard. I knew that story existed, but we had never had that conversation. So, on behalf of the nation, Robin, I thank you for putting your heart on the table, so to speak, or whatever, and that, because that's not easy. I know you're in a place now because of your own personal, before starting L4, your own personal mental agility journey, that it allows you to be able to do that with the confidence, not looking for sympathy, not looking for hope or whatever, just because you understand it now.
Yes.
From help.
Absolutely.
And so thank you on behalf of the nation for sharing that with us too. And I think it's important that you understand that. So she's got such overwhelming life experiences, Dirtbags, but she's connected in the baseball world, incredibly connected. And so she understands what you go through as a player. She's got young daughters right now. She's understanding it as a mom. So as a parent, I think all of us I mean, I actually coach, so I am a coach, but quarterback coaches, whatever you want to say or whatever in that, but she can get it from there. She can get it from the management side because she was the marketing director for the baseball data technology company that she spoke with. She worked on all avenues of the business, building strengths, building alliances, tearing down not enemies, but creating allies of people, that engineers to baseball people that couldn't even, like, they were, hey, we're never going to meet up. Relax, we're going to meet. Right. And we always talk about that when we first met each other. So but you did it, right? Because of your experience, you were able to take, like you said, that knowledge that you had about the engineer to the knowledge of the scout, the high-end scout, to the player that wanted to see this incorporated in the data and make those connections and make it all work.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so important about that. So the next question, Robin, of course, is we've been on here talking forever and stuff like that. This is good. Show us the nuts and bolts. Show us
Yes.
the nuts and bolts. I like this lady. I'm building confidence with you. I know you, Kirk, because I've known you for a long time or whatever and that, but show us the hard stuff. No problem, dirtbags. Here we go. All right. Bear with me because technology and I are good, but we're getting there. We think we got to figure it out. So,
Yeah. I
yeah,
love this. So
there we
we're
go.
gonna break down the program.
There we
We're
go.
gonna break down what this is that you would be getting when you sign up with the company. What are those nuts and bolts? What makes up a mental agility program? And this is all encompassing. So as we've been talking about through the weeks for athletes, coaches, organizations, scouts, agents, parents, and it all comes down to this vision. And I think I'm just going to read some of this because the vision is to rewrite the story of sports. And I want to pause there for 1 second. Rewriting the story of sports so that the vulnerability of one's internal emotions and what is going on in their personal life isn't shunned, right? The narrative doesn't stop there. It's how are we going to support? So rewrite the story of sports for the athletic community by giving athletes at all a seat at the table to safely and confidently reveal their emotions versus hiding from themselves. So we're providing a space for community wellness and support. And this is to build on adversity, challenges, turn them into obstacles, understand your own resiliency when it comes to yourself. That is the vision of L4. And as I stated earlier, it comes from my heart. It comes from a passion to serve you in the way to unlock your emotional and physical pain. Because your physical pain is coming from a lot of emotional turmoil. And we'll get into that when we talk about a little bit of energy, but we want to take that pain and we want to harness that into power. And that's the ultimate vision of L4. And I want to share, as you go to the next slide, Kirk, I just want to share, suffering is imperative to life. And so we don't want to push that aside. To live is to suffer. To find meaning in the suffering is really what matters. That's a abridged quote from Nietzsche. And it's beautiful to think that way. We need that pain in order to celebrate our life. And that's what we do at L4. And so the mission, this breaks down everything we've talked about for the past month, 5 weeks. The athlete, what are we giving to the athlete, right? We are looking at them as a whole person, personally and professionally. That's the only way to support a human being in the way in which they need to be supported. It's not just all about the game. It is all about you. So even though there is a master plan and a program that's been created, it is still customized to you. So I want that to be very, very clear. The athlete, the coach, how are we going to communicate with each other on our staff and our players? We have a unique training program that goes along with the communication of oneself to the staff and the players, along with their own wellness and mental agility programming. The organization, we start from the top, the executives. What's missing? Where's the gap? Are you having that balance of confidence, courage, empowering, compassion? Executives, GMs, hear me. Compassion is a wonderful and powerful tool. And if you don't use it properly, the legs are going to fall out from under you. The wheels will fall off the cart, the car, whatever it is. The agent, are you harnessing your own leadership so that you can lead and serve with passion your players in the best way? Or do you have a balance? Do you understand what that looks like? If you're not, there's so much investment in your own clients. Are you investing in yourself? We work on that with the agents. The scout, whoo, you guys are all over the place all the time. And I know from personal experience what that feels like. We deal with the scout balance, mind, body, rest. If you are not resting, you are not serving. And so we really focus on that a lot with the scout. What's going to up-level your game? How are your eyes going to see things differently when you're out scouting and watching mechanics and body language and things like that? We dive into the scout, we dive into the single scout and the family scout, because there's a whole component on both sides of that. And then parents, bless all the parents out there that are the biggest heart and backbone of support for these athletes. We do not forget you. You are an integral part of this piece, but yet the parent will stop taking care of themselves to support their athlete. And we want to bring it back. You get to also be first. If a parent is not first in their own minds, you cannot put that child in the place and what it deserves to be in. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to your balance so you can be the parent that you want to be and your child deserves.
And I just want to touch on the parents here real quick, and not to be a bummer on this whole thing at all. It's totally the opposite, but it is reality. Again, dirtbags, I've been doing this 30 plus years now. I don't know how many times I've seen separation to divorce because of this very thing, whether it be sports, dance, whatever it is, over the kids. And it really wasn't because they fell out of love. It was because they were so wrapped up in this, just go, go, go. And they didn't have a network or the resources to just help them take a moment. How do I find 5 minutes in my day to be present? How do I find 5 minutes in my day, if that's all it is, to be present with my partner? So that's so vital. We know. And I brought that up because we know. We've seen it and we know you're out there. Do not shy away from this.
Yeah.
Because there is life after the sports journey of your child too. Let's make it be together instead of being a separate.
Great point, Kirk. Great point. Let's not let the divide happen.
Yes.
So these are the key factors. There's a lot of factors that go into building resiliency and mental agility, but these are the ones that L4 focuses on. We want you to be resilient. That is the utmost goal in this. So no matter where you stand, which we will gauge that, these are the components. The first one is awareness. If you don't have awareness of your pros and your cons, you are not going to grow in this field. Awareness is the integral part of, okay, I can see where my faults are. I can see where my greatness is, right? A lot of players have a hard time saying what they're great at too. So it's either I can talk all day long about how wonderful I am, or I'm going to really stick in, I really am awful in this. We want to combine those two. We want you to be aware of everything in order to be able to stand in the present moment. So awareness, discovery. Once you're aware, you get to dive in. You're at that deep end of the pool and you're going to dive in and you are going to want to discover, because once you get a taste of what this is like, it's like, oh, what else can I do? We start to limit ourselves and we don't want to do that, right? We want to be limitless. So let's discover what it means to expand the mind, what it means to open up the doors of understanding reasons why we stand in our own way. We're going to discover that. Then responsibility. So this is accountability for yourself. This is accountability for where you stand in your life. Again, you've heard me say it, and I will drill it into every single person. You're 100% responsible 100% of the time. And we help drive that into the soul of who you are and take ownership of everything and use it to control what you can. And then perspective. You might have a perspective and you might think you have a really great perspective. I'm going to open up those doors of seeing things in many different lights so that it serves you. It serves, if you're an athlete, it serves your parents, it serves your coach, it serves your team, the entire staff, right? This is an all-encompass, right? This is about you to build the bigger picture for all. So those are the 4 components: awareness, discovery, responsibility, and perspective. Okay. What do we offer here in this program? So there's many different things. And like I said, everything is customized to you, but the baseline foundation, the structural view is we customize these programs, and we do that by starting with some assessments. And One of the assessments I love the most is the HRG resiliency assessment. So that's the hardiness resilience gauge. We measure you on a scale of 1 to 130 to find out where you stand in challenge, in commitment, and in all of these things that make up who you are. We find out where you stand on that gauge. And then we can go from there. We build from there. Then we do in your operating system, so we know how you communicate. And then if there needs to be further assessment, we will add that in. And the cool thing about this program is the uniqueness that is provided from L4 that is not, I haven't seen it yet. There's specialists that do this. Anne-Marie was one of them. But this is not in this realm, right? When you think mental skills, you don't think of energy. And so as a now certified energy practitioner, I get to go in and I get to understand where your emotions are blocking you, because that is blocking your power. So we stand in this unique space of we're aligning mind, body, soul, and we are clearing anything that's been trapped inside of you. And when we start to work together, I'll dive into the meaning of that and the science of that, how the brain works, how the body and the subconscious works, because we want to listen to ourselves. And then if there's trauma that's been from developmental years, we will work on that. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I'm trained in different cognitive tools to use for trauma-related circumstances. And then you get your mental skills. You get tools, you get actionable steps, right? That's the cool thing between mental skills and therapy. Sometimes therapy isn't actionable. Mental skills is actionable things that can be put into place for you to use when you're on the field, when you're in practice, right? In the pen, whatever it is, we use these tools. And so we train you on all of these components during our Tier 1 12-week program. Okay. This dives into a little bit more about the energy. And I just want to stop and say, you've heard us talk about this throughout the entire series. A lot of this, and I'll just throw it right out there because we are real people here, Kirk. A lot of people are like, what the heck is this energy stuff? This is cuckoo, woo-woo, whatever it is. Well, that's fine. I'm going to open up your mind to why it's not. And this is an overview of what's called the emotion code chart from Dr. Bradley Nelson, how you dive into those 60 types of emotions and how they've gotten trapped inside of you, because our energy is everywhere. It's constantly always in motion, and it responds to our thoughts. It responds to what's inside of us. And we want energy to work for us. So whatever's inside of us that's stuck, we're going to remove that. And then we're going to ripple that out into the world. So this is that mind-body connection. Anne-Marie was talking about this at one point about the self-talk. This gives an overview about what happens when you talk in a negative way versus a positive way. And to not take too much time on this, you'll see at the top those snowflakes, those crystalline formations. That's when positivity was spoken into glass cylinder jars. That's what froze and was crystallized right there. The bottom ones were all negative words that were spoken into cylinders of water, or words that were put on the outside of the glass and froze overnight. You'll see the sludge. So if you don't believe in energy, you don't believe in life, because this is real, and we'll teach you how to use it, and we'll make you understand why it's so important. And that's our unique component in this company.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
A couple more here and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, a couple more. I think this is important, right? And look, we've got Beyond the Noise in our own deck. I just wanted to point out that, when the mental reform movement started in 1908, where we are now, 2020, and now going into 2027, look at the difference that's listed down there of the billions of dollars that are being put into a global behavioral health market. In 2020, the stat was 35% of elite athletes suffer from a mental illness, right? Unless we do something about that, that number keeps going up. And so we get to regulate, and we get to make this a real thing. And we get to really push this. $245 billion is going to be spent by 2027. You want to jump on this bandwagon and understand why all this money is being pushed in.
100%. Wow.
Yes, 100%. And I'll even, you know what, I'm going to even do something right now. Kirk, if you look at the top of this, it says 80% of the game is mental and 20% is physical. That's what you'll hear all the time. I'm going to probably change this because really, I think 100% of the game is mental. Physical, you can build upon your physicality all day long. I could practice and train and da-da-da. But if you're not good up here, it doesn't matter how long or hard you train, because this will rip all of this apart.
Well, and that's it, right? You had that. You and I would talk about that. Exactly. 80% game mental, 20% physical simply isn't true. And you're right, because when you think about it, dirtbags, everything you have to do physically comes and starts and begins with the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Begins with the mind. Everything starts there. It's that simple, whether you like it or you don't. We hope you're starting to gravitate into it. I know you've got one more that you want to talk about.
Yes. Yes. Why do you want to do this, right? Why do you want to be L4 trained versus non-L4 trained, right? You're going to be able to combat adversity. You're going to grow an elite mindset. You're going to have perspective. You're going to use weakness and you're going to turn it into strength. Okay. You don't have those things, you're going to crumble under adversity. You're going to be weak and insecure, unaware of self. We never want to be unaware of ourselves ever. And listen, we all get stuck in that trap. So all of these things, the L4 team, right? So building the team, competition with opponent versus competition with teammates, right? We always feel, and this is a lot of what I get with athletes is, I'm always in competition. I have to be the best at it. Well, yeah, internally, you're the best. You believe that in yourself, right? But that's not with your team, right? The competition comes when you're out there and you're winning and you're a champion. Right now, we want to work together, right? When we work and win together, everybody wins. We always talk about this. So we're going to help transition this competition with internal team mentality, right? That's toxic energy. There's judgment in there, blame, right? We remove all of that. And for organizations, an L4 organization, you are support on an elite level. You have such a gauge and responsibility to be that support and that support with compassion. And we train on how to do that, how to unblock what's going on. Where are the hidden gaps? Where are the missing components of what's going on? What's your culture? Do you know your culture? Do you know what to do with that culture? Do you know how to retrain that culture? So we don't want to have mismanaged support.
Excellent. That is outstanding. I know the next question is going to be, can they get access to your program overlay?
Of the program, you can get
Yes,
access to everything. Yes.
to review it, to review the document that we just
Oh,
went
yes,
through.
of
Can
course.
they get their hands on it? And if they can, how do they go about doing that with you, Robin?
They can absolutely get their hands on this entire, it's 20 pages. You can dive right into it. You can ask all the questions in the world. So you can go to the website, L4Livin.com, and it is on the website. You can go to our link tree, which I will provide to Kirk and he can put it in the show notes. The link tree is really probably what I love the most because it's all encompassing. On each bar, the top bar is the program. Then it goes into the website. Then it goes into, there's some press if you want to, see where I've been. Sure. There's a book. I have a book that was written that's on there. So it really gives a full picture view of everything. So the link tree I'll give to Kirk. I think that's the best way, or you can always email me at Robin@L4Livin, LIVIN.com, and I'll send it right over to you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We'll get that up there for you, dirtbags. So I'm going to give them a teaser. And I know you want to talk about, but I'm not going to do it this week. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the mini program next week, because there's been a lot of stuff to digest, a lot of very excellent information that you provided them. Thank you so much. And I'm going to pull that back up here if I can. Dirtbags, quickly. There we go. Okay, let me go here. Boom.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is and I'll give the little teaser to the mini program. This is a summer special.
Yeah.
This is something we want to put out, summer, we're getting close to the draft. So there's a lot of things happening. I know there's a lot of things, but summer is also a time where we want to, what can I do going into the rest of the season, right? What can I do to really jump into the next level of myself?
Okay, the mini program.
Oh, are we going there, Kirk?
Well, I just wanted to see them. I just wanted to show them if I could.
Presentation mode.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
So real quick, what we're going to be talking
There
about.
it is.
What we're going to be going over next week. So
Yeah.
it's a mini
I
program
love this.
with Robin and her team. 6 weeks.
Coaches, agents, parents. This is for anyone. This is a condensed program created for you. If you don't know where to go with this, if you don't know what to do, like, I don't know if I want to jump in, this is why the mini power program was created, so that you could get a taste of all the glory. Just because it's 6 weeks and not 12 doesn't mean you're not getting all the value, because you absolutely are. But this is a way to jumpstart a lifetime of change for yourself. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to invest in yourself?
Yeah. 100%. And we were talking about before the show, and again, our experience and our knowledge, and here's the bottom line, dirtbags. This is your added on, going to hear what you need to hear. All right. We can give you 100% free. We know everybody in the world wants the discount, wants what's the tip over point for the buy now button, stuff like that. This is your life. This is your life. Not just baseball. This is your life. Why are you putting a price on your life? I've given away free stuff for 30 plus years. Throwing program, pitching program, hitting program that I all do one-on-one personally. I know Robin has done the same with varying levels of L4 and prior to L4.
Yep.
Problem with giving it away, you feel great about, I got something for free. You never look at it. You never take full advantage of it, because the rush wasn't getting the program. The rush wasn't getting, it was getting it for free, because that's how we're programmed. That's the noise that is in our head every single minute of every single day, whether we're buying a t-shirt, whether we're buying the L4 program, whether we're buying the Ace Mindset program, whether we're buying the pitching or whatever it is from us personally at Dirtbag Baseball Nation, or the rope trainer. And I'm living proof of it. When I get something for free, the excitement is just gone. So I was like, well, that sucks. The fun was in trying to get it. But then I'll look at it 6 months later, maybe, let's say, and I'll go, holy cow, I just wasted 6 months, because that was some of the most valuable information that I just left on the table because I was more worried about getting it for free.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen it that way?
Absolutely. I mean, I've done the same thing. I'm like, I got to get it. I got to get it. I got it for free. And I'm like, I never even opened whatever it was that, let's say it's something that I found online or whatever. And that is our human nature, right? We got it. We won. And now we're not going to do anything with it. And I learned this lesson years and years ago when I was like, I don't need to spend, to gain. And that is not true. My self-worth, I am worth putting my hard-earned money to work for me. Because if I think that I'm not, that means I have nowhere else to grow. That means I have nobody else to learn from. That means that I am all-knowing and godlike and all those things. No. When you put your hard-earned money towards yourself, that is saying, I am so worthy of this life. I am so worthy of what I can create with this. Why wouldn't I want to do it? Right? Because that money is going to benefit you 1,000-fold, because it doesn't just stop here. It doesn't stop after the 6 weeks or the 12 weeks. This stuff carries on with you for the rest of your life. And when you can find new perspective because you chose you to invest in, that's power. That's step one of power right there.
Yeah, 100%, right? I got the shirt made up. I don't have it on the website right now, and I'm going to put it back on because it's true or whatever. I tell people all the time, and I tell parents especially, I don't want you to work hard. That's got to be an automatic. You got to be motivated enough to be willing to automatically work hard. I want to teach you how to work smart. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
Because then the working hard is just an automatic, but everything starts to fall into place. So let's work smart, dirtbags. We always talk about it. Let's work smart. Let's get this going. Don't wait till tomorrow. Get on it today. If you walk through it and it's not something that was there for you, whatever, and that, it's not there for you. But I can say that because I know 100% it will be there for you. It will be there 100%. I can guarantee it. No question. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the nation. Share this now. Share it. Please share it. Like it. Subscribe to us. Get in touch with Robin. Get in touch with Robin. I will put up the Linktree link on the post, on the YouTube channel, on our Instagram and Facebook page at Dirtbag Baseball Nation. And she's right. Linktree is the best. It's cool. We all know it. So it's perfect. Go there, check out the program so you're ready for next week's episode when she's going to get down to it. You saw the quick overview, and she's going to break it down to really give you a little bit of tidbits and information of there's the words, but this is where we're going to go with them. Robin, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kirk, so much for this platform and this space. Thank you, Dirtbags, for tuning in. And, we are here to serve and we're here to provide the value. And that's where we lead from. And we hope you feel that because that's where we're coming from. So we appreciate you tuning into us and listening every week. It really does mean a lot.
100%. Wherever you are in the world, Dirtbags, you know what time it is. It's time to get up, get after it, and get dirty.
Get dirty.